What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Season 6. I think this is episode 20. Vows and Vendettas is the title of this episode, you guys. It ain't really much for me to talk about with this episode, but we're going to get into it nonetheless. But before I get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you guys, and also by turning on your post notifications. And with that out of the way, without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and discuss Life After Lockup, shall we? Again, you guys, it wasn't really much to discuss with this episode because they could have kept this episode, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys. They really could have kept it anticlimactic. Nothing really happened in this episode. So I'll start off with the people who I don't care about at all. Courtney and Will. Now, what I will say is I wasn't listening to Courtney and Will's story. I won't even listen to nothing that they were saying. But from what I got from their ending is Will is dating someone else. So is Courtney. She's in another relationship. That's really it. I don't care. Like, I never want to see Courtney, and I don't feel bad for Will. Like, dude, what did you expect? You know, meeting this girl and then getting married to her fresh out of prison. Like, I don't know what you expected from her. And then for Courtney, there was this one scene that I will say kind of irritated me, because he was saying that, you know, when it came down to communication, he would text her, it would go hours before he would hear from her. And she's like, I was busy. And he was like, I'm busy taking care of a sick parent, building this app, and, you know, working at a hospital. And she was like, and so he was like, so after a while, it just got to the point where I stopped texting you. She's like, oh, so you admit that you stopped communicating. I was like, because you stopped communicating. And she's like, here's the Will, the hypocrite. I said, that's not hypocritical, ma'am. You wanted him to chase after you. And it is what it is. He did for a minute until he got bored. And that's all I got to say about that. Also, they mentioned Daniel and Bianca in this episode. We know Bianca is currently pregnant in a new relationship. Daniel got out of that place that he was in, and so he was released from jail, but he lost his job and that apartment. Serves you right. So he's living in a sober living place. Serves you right, Daniel. And that's all I got for them. Now, let's talk about these people in this episode that I can kind of tolerate. The first couple that I can tolerate, but what I will say is if they come back, please don't bring them back. WeTV. I really honestly feel like their storyline is wrapped up, and that is Justine and Michael. What I will be honest with you guys and say is I didn't even listen to the first scene that we got with Justine and Michael. I didn't listen to it. I didn't really listen to the second scene with Justine and Michael. Only thing I listened to was the part where he was telling her that the wedding is not gonna happen because they don't have the money, which, ding, 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 I think we all knew that they didn't have the money for that wedding, right? He said they don't have 30,000, it's more like 15,000. I was like, okay, whatever. If that's what you want to say, cool. Then, you know, because he also told her that one of their cars, because you guys know they do car rental, one of the cars needs a new engine and it's about $30,000. So that's that. Now we ended with them. So they did postpone the wedding until next year. Then their daughter, you know, Melody, she graduated high school. They are nervous about the bill for college. I'm like, if y'all are nervous about her going to college and how much it's going to cost, then why did y'all just postpone a wedding until 2026? Like, that makes no sense to me. But, you know, it's Justine and Michael, and that's all I got with Justine and Michael. If y'all have anything that y'all want to put on Justine and Michael, leave it in the comments section. Now, the next couple we got is Letitia and Keith. Honestly, it wasn't much with Letitia and Keith in this episode either, because what we got with Letitia and Keith was the continuation of them arguing in the last episode. So they in public, and I'm sitting here thinking about, like, why are y'all arguing in a public place? Like, that is one of my pet peeves. Like, I don't argue as it is, but I'm really not going to argue with you in a public place, cause a scene, and then have a situation where the cops are called because it's a disorderly conduct or, disturbing the peace, whatever you want to say, right? I would never want a situation like that. So Keith called up his Aunt Marcia, right? So Aunt Marcia came and picked him up, and Letitia's like, "You're not gonna go anywhere without your wife." I said, "Ma'am, bring it on down, because again, y'all are in public, y'all are causing a scene, y'all are at probably at somebody's, y'all are at a restaurant or somewhere, a public place where they can ding ding ding, hello, call the cops. He's on papers and you on papers. Do y'all want the cops in y'all life at this particular moment? I think the fuck not, right?" So Keith got in the car with Aunt Marcia, right? And he's telling Aunt Marcia about what happened with him and Letitia. And Aunt Marcia was asking him essentially like, what's the problem with you guys renewing your vows? So Keith's whole thing with the renewing of the vows is he's thinking about, a big wedding and having to invite people, because at this point it's only 3 days into their wedding anniversary. And I was like, she didn't really say that she wanted to have a big wedding. All Letitia said was she wanted to renew your vows. Now, Letitia, you better than I am, because the way you said that man proposed to you, that wasn't a proposal. Like I said, it gave that scrappy proposal. You gonna marry a nigga or not? I would say, or not. The fuck? But hey, she accepted it nonetheless. So they got home, they made up with each other, right? And then we see as Keith has set up at like a botanical garden for them to renew their vows. It was cute. And that's it with them. So then we get an update from them. And their update is a very interesting one. So, they kind of blended together as a family, and Keith is still trying to get his son. But on the flip side, Letitia got some legal issues, which I talked about last week. So Letitia was arrested shortly after filming for identity theft and forgery. I can talk, the forgery, I can be like, okay, you know what? You probably signed your name on somebody's check. But the identity theft part is like, that's right. Actually, both of them are fuck nose for me. And this is why I said Letitia could never do my taxes. Letitia couldn't even lick a goddamn stamp for my taxes. Bitch, Letitia couldn't even utter the word ta for me. Ta. No, you ain't gonna even be able to get the word taxes out of your mouth to me. Hell the fuck no. Girl, I hope that tax business is kaput, defunct. The hell, the no. A tax business with Letitia, I'd rather let Stevie Wonder do my fucking taxes. Yeah, Stevie would be up there just, I can get you all these deductions. Don't even know what he doing. I'd rather let a blind person do my taxes than a criminal like Letitia. It's the identity theft for me, but then forgery too, because that means you don't sign your name on it, because that means you signed on. But you alluded to us last week that you a shady person when you said that you lied on your food stamps thing. Letitia, you ain't learned your lesson, huh? Good luck to you, sis, because you are going to jail. Like, your ass is going to jail this time, for sure. Ain't no plea, nothing. Identity theft, Get, Keith, don't bring your son around her. Identity theft, don't give her your son's social security number. Don't give her your social security number. It's bad enough she got her daughter's social security number. Oh, bitch. Just thought about something. I wonder how many bills her kids got in their names, and they not even above the age of 18. And here's the thing. I know black parents do it all the time, right? I know it. But goddamn, this lady right here, fuck no. Hell to the no. No. Moving on to the next couple, Zeruiah and Troy. I don't want to see them ever again either. Congratulations to them. I'm some they seen up because their scene really kind of infuriated me for one particular reason, and it was Karen. And I'm gonna get to it when I get to it. But Karen brought her loud ass and oh my God, you're good at pregnant. I was like, calm down, Karen. Then on top of that, I was like, are you drunk? Are you high? Because you something, Karen. So She then says in her interview, they brought me up here because they want a babysitter. I said I would never ask Karen to babysit. I wouldn't even ask Karen to babysit my pet rock collection. No, fuck no, hell no, absolutely not. Right now, then Karen is having a conversation with Troy, and what I will say, Karen, you cannot sit here and tell Troy how he feels about your presence in his life as a kid. You can't do that. Now here's the thing with Karen. Karen may have her, it ain't no she may. Karen has her story. Karen has her reasons for the things that she did. And so I'm not gonna sit here and say she's wrong for she is wrong for how she feels when it comes to Troy because that's his story. You can't tell him how he should feel or how how he felt at that time in his life. Yeah, he had his dad. Yeah, he may have had his grandparents and his aunts and uncles and stuff like that. But there's nothing like having your mother. You know what I'm saying? No one can replace your mother or your father. And I want Karen to understand that. But I also think Karen, like I said, Karen was either high or drunk, one of the two. So then she starts going off on Zeruiah, and I'm like, this is the one time I'm going to defend Zeruiah. What are you screaming at her for? Talking about you need to mind your business. And then she going to tell her, but you should have told Troy to talk to his mama. Karen, which one is it? Either you want her to mind her business or you want her to tell your son to talk to his mother. Which one is it, Karen? You can't have it both ways. And that's why I said that one was high or drunk because that conversation made absolutely no sense to me. Then this is the part where Karen really pissed me off. Where the sonogram? I want to see the sonogram. So she started flipping through the sonogram. Where the dick at? I said, where's the dick? Oh my God. Because I guess they told her it was a boy. So she's like, how do you know? Where's the dick at? How do you know it's a boy? So then Zeruiah shows her the picture where they were able to determine it was a boy. Oh my God. That's a big ass dick. Karen, that is your grandson. Why would you, that is so weird to me. And she kept saying, I'm going to tell people this baby got a big dick. Why are you talking about the baby's penis? I didn't get that. I was confused by that. Keep that baby away from Karen. Please keep that baby away from Karen. So we found out that little Troy, she went to stay with them for the summer as they're getting ready to have their baby boy. And so congratulations to Zeruiah and Troy. Again, don't want to see them again on my television screen. That's all I got to say. The next couple we can talk about, Kiana, Demondrick, and Joella. It really ain't much to say with these three because I'm over all three of them. So we see Demondrick and Kiana. They're walking from somewhere. I don't know where they were coming from. I think they were coming from that meeting with her attorney, right? So they were leaving there, and Joella texts Demondrick for Kiana to meet her somewhere, right? So we see as Joella went to this restaurant and she asked for a drink, and she says, "Now see, Joella, you lost me when you said you needed something a little strong because you got to get loud and do all this kind of stuff. Why? Why? I don't get it." The problem that I have with both Kiana and Joella, y'all have an issue with each other because of Demondrick. Y'all should really be coming at Demondrick. He's the catalyst. He's the problem. He's the issue. Then he gonna sit here and say, yeah, I was in the middle at one point, but these two have a vendetta against each other. These two have a vendetta against each other because of you. You're the problem. Dude. And then at the end of the episode, Joella said that he texted her. And so, Demondrick, that text message, you are playing with that girl. So basically he said, so you don't want me to, she said, leave her alone. And he said, so you don't want me to fuck with you no more. And that's exactly what he said. You don't want me to fuck with you no more. She said, yeah, I'm not your side bitch. And he said, for real, with question marks. Dude. If you know what, Kiana's dumb enough to follow along with this shit, and Joella's dumb enough to follow along with this shit. But again, they both should band together and come against you, not each other. You're the problem. But Joella is basically saying that, if Kiana met with her, she would drop the charges. Now, somebody did leave it in my comments a few weeks ago, and they showed it at the end of the episode that the charges were dropped because the case was dismissed, which I kind of figured that the case would be dismissed. Um, Joella and Demadric, they are co-parenting with each other, and I don't believe that they're not doing anything, but hey, if that's what they want to say. Demadric and Kiana, they still together. And Kiana, you're delusional, beloved. And let me tell you why I feel like you're delusional. Because you are sitting here talking about, me and Demadric want to have kids, want to get houses together and all this kind of stuff. That's fine and dandy that you want to do that stuff with him. But the problem is his track record. Why do you want to be with a man that why would you want to be with a man where his quote unquote baby mama is involved in his life, and when you got to the point where charges were filed against you, regardless of if you did that or not, that would be the point where I'd be like, you know what, I can't fuck with this. Like, you keep going back and forth between me and her, telling him to make a decision. And the real reason why he's with you is because you are stable for him. I don't feel like with Joella, he would feel a sense of stability. That's my whole thing. I don't think he would feel that. But he does like, going over to Joella's and dipping it and doing it with Joella and then coming back to you. But then you also got to sit there and say to yourself, why am I putting up with this? He goes, like, especially at the beginning of the season, he went over there, he stayed into the wee hours of the morning, and then he comes home. You gotta want better for yourself. Both you and Joella gotta want better for yourselves, but I don't think that y'all do at this point, right? I don't think that y'all do. So Kiana was doing her interview with the producers, right? And so the doorbell rang, and it was Joella. So they got into it. They started screaming at each other, right? They wanted the cameras to go down. 30 minutes passed. We don't know what happened, but obviously nothing good came from that with those two. And again, your issue should be with him. Both of the ladies' issue should be with Demadric, not each other. But, it is what it is. Moving on to the last couple. Now, when I say I never want to see these two again, Brooke and JK. Bitch, when I say I never want to see these two again, I never want to see these two again. And Alex, throw Alex in as well. I don't want to see now one of these people. So, we pick up where we last left off with Brooke and JK, mostly Brooke screaming at JK, right? So the police were called. The neighbors called because of the noise. They called for a noise complaint, right? So the police came out. They told them everything was good, right? So then Brooke wants to know, why did you go see Alex? Why did you go see Alex? Why did you go see Alex? So he told her, I went to go see Alex because, she's pregnant. So why you worried about it? Why you worried about it? Is it your baby? So he doesn't know if it's his baby, right? So was that miscarriage, baby? Was that yours? Was that yours? He says, no. She's like, how do you know it wasn't yours? I was like, he doesn't. He's lying to you, right? So she's like, you going over there talking, you over there fucking your ex. You over there fucking your ex. And he said, I'm doing it because of you. When he said that, I was like, no, sir, you're not. Now, I may not care for Brooke. I may not like Brooke, but you weren't fucking Alex because of Brooke. You were fucking Alex because you wanted to. So she slaps the shit out of him. I said, well, damn. Now, see, Brooke, you should have kept your hands to yourself. But you knew this, so I don't understand what you're so pissed off about. Oh, it's the fact that he said that you're the reason he did that. Girl, you know you ain't the reason that he did that. He did it because he wanted to do it. So then he going, that bitch slapped me. And his mama's telling him, like, you need to be done with Brooke and you need to be done with Alex. Like, you don't need to be worried about anybody. Like, you got too much shit to be worried about than to be worried about a relationship. And I agree with his mama, right? And so, then on top of that, she was like, that one right there is gonna have you back in the penitentiary. I was like, that one, mama, I agree with you on. Brooke is a problem. Especially, and then even after the police left, Brooke's still screaming, yelling. I'm like, girl, didn't the police just leave here from a neighbor calling because of a noise complaint? And you're still loud? Okay, whatever. So she sat in the car for a little bit and then she left. So then we see Brooke the next day with her sons or whenever. So they went out for ice cream. Brooke's sons got more sense than she do. So she was like, yeah, I broke up with JK. And her son was like, okay. And her youngest son said he was a drug addict. I said, ding, 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 a drug addict. Then her other son said, yeah, we never liked him. I said, oh my God, your kids didn't even like this fucking man. Brooke, you stupid. Like, you should have never introduced your kids to him in the first place. Like, what the fuck? But if Brooke like it, girl, I love it. I really don't. I'm just lying to you guys. I don't love it. But if she do, it's her life. Let her live her life, right? So after that, we find out that she and her sons moved to Galveston, and she's still talking at this point to multiple fucking inmates. I said, you ain't learned your lesson, huh? Okay, whatever. Then we find out that Alex had her baby. She had a baby girl, and JK is awaiting the paternity test results. Again, I don't want to see them again, so if y'all know what the paternity, if he told y'all that he had got a daughter or not, let me know in the comment section. That's all I got for this season of Life After Lockup, you guys. So, it's Love During Lockup. That won't be back until 2026. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like after the Braxton's end. So yeah, you guys, we got a little bit of time off for Love After Lockup. This season, it didn't really give me it didn't really give, and this finale was lackluster than a. So yeah, you guys, hopefully y'all enjoyed this review, because I really breezed through this because there was just nothing there. I'm sorry, you guys, there was nothing there. I tried. Hell, at least I got a 20-minute video. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the episode, the season as a whole, and I will see you guys for the next season of. Well, y'all know how Love After Lockup is. So we'll be back, and we'll probably still be on season 6, episode 21, which is so stupid to me. But I know why WeTV does it. I know we complain all the time, but I know why WeTV does not take forever to give us a new season. Is because they don't want to pay the people, right? Because if they go into if this were to end season 6 right here, and we go into season 7, then these people would be able to renegotiate a contract, and they don't want them to be able to renegotiate a contract. So that's why they do that. But yeah, you guys, that's all I got. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications, and also share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.